Speaking of worst case scenarios, we now have a situation in Baltimore where we have to make Bateman great again, alpha man again. Is this possible? Is Rashad Bateman going to be alpha man again? Is that in the cards? Are we over that? Is he just this situational deep threat now that's going to pop a couple long touchdowns every few games and ultimately kind of suck? Or is Beta Man going to be alpha man?
I'm so conflicted on Rashad Bateman, perhaps more than any other player. I was already kind of conflicted coming into the season, and of all of the outcomes that I could have expected through 2 weeks, this was not on my bingo card. And what the outcome I'm referring to is that he has played elite, 25% targets per route run. I think he has one of the highest yards per target in the NFL. I think he might be second in the NFL in yards per target. 10th.
Yards, 10th? Like A-Dog, are you talking?
No, yards per target.
Never mind.
Not that it matters. I just mean he's being efficient. He's being efficient. He's earning targets at a high clip, and he's converting on his targets at an incredible clip. So he's playing very, very well.
I mean, he has 250-yard touchdowns in 2 weeks.
Right. But he's playing really well.
And he made 2 plays in 2 weeks.
Well, 2 weeks, two plays is pretty good when you're talking about the massive plays. And beyond the 2 plays, like I said, his targets per route run, 25%. That's fantastic. The issue is they're not giving him enough routes. It's weird. Yeah. He ran 74% of routes, I believe, in the first week, 71% in the second week. The first week I wrote up, I was like, this is weird, but probably just an aberration because they were up by 3 touchdowns, and I didn't watch the game by hand, so I didn't know if all of those snaps missed were in the fourth quarter, or if they're in the first quarter, in the second quarter. I don't know idea. This game, I mean, it was very competitive. They lost. It was back and forth. Bateman, in the first game, he actually did just kind of make one play. His targets per run kind of sucked. Everything kind of sucked. He just made one phenomenal play. This game, he was dominant. I mean, he had 7 targets on 22 routes. Why was he not running the other 9 routes? He played 60% of the snaps. So I don't know if they don't want him on run blocking situations, and then they can't have him on all the personnel packages because they don't want to disguise looks. I don't know. Point is, it's really weird. I will say this, if his usage continues to be what it's been, he will not continue this level of fantasy performance because he's entirely doing it on efficiency, and his efficiency is not going to maintain at this level. Like we just said, he's second in the NFL in yards per target. But at the same time, if he does maintain this level of targets per route run, which is basically exactly what we wanted to see, because that was his issue last year, was not earning enough targets on his routes, and then they just give him more routes, then it's fine. So it's do I want to be, I don't really want to have a sell position on an exciting young player with a good prospect who's now earning targets at the rate we want them to, just because his coach isn't giving the first round pick enough routes. It's very weird. You don't see that happen very often. But at the same time, I also don't want to go hog wild buying him. And then what if he just never runs enough routes and the efficiency goes away? So I'm kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'm just pushing all the chips in. He's a good player. The only thing holding him back is routes, which is a really bizarre thing because
so weird.
The offense isn't chock full of superstars. It's not they're oh, we got to make some space for some guy I've never heard of to get a route here. It's
scheme something up for DeMarcus Robinson.
I've been saying this since the Baltimore Ravens drafted Rashad Bateman. I have been calling him inevitable. That has been my stance from day one. I slightly wavered immediately after his rookie year until some new information came out. And it just feels inevitable that he's eventually going to run all the routes and we're going to get Alpha Man back for the first time. And I'm just, it's just too weird that it's not happening. They've had 2 weird games. You said they beat the Jets by 3 touchdowns or something thereabouts. They're beating the Ravens by 3, or the Tua Tagovailoa led superstar Dolphins by 3 touchdowns with I don't even know. Was it the fourth quarter when they were still up by 3 touchdowns? It was insane.
I could have gotten down to 2 by then, but yeah, they're up. They're up big.
They were way up early in the game. So I'm well, like you said, maybe it's just something weird with how things happen to break down in that particular time frame. But I don't know. I'm just throwing caution to the wind. I'm going all in. Let's do this. He still has Lamar Jackson, who is going to lead an offense that's going to score a lot of touchdowns. And Rashad Bateman is very, very good at football. And I think has been displaying that. So I'm buying him. And then what I need to know about that.
I think it's a fair bet. I certainly don't want to be the person, I'm just going to sell everything because of what Greg Roman decided to do in doling out routes. And then 1 week he's going to run 98% of the routes. I'm going to be could have had a Bateman. You know, I don't want to be that guy.
Like if Gabriel Davis can be out here running 100% of the friggin' snaps, so can Rashad Bateman.
Yeah, I mean, some of us like said things in the Discord of like, Gabriel Davis is going to run more routes than Diggs this year because he's used as the solo wide receiver in run blocking packages. And then you were like, that doesn't matter. I don't need to care about run blocking film.
Yeah, I still don't care if Gabriel Davis wants to run all the rushing snaps. I'm okay with that because Stephon Diggs is going to score all of the fantasy points. So,
well, I don't know. Stephon Diggs seemingly found an untapped. I mean, Stephon Diggs has not had a game that good since Gabriel Davis elevated to the offense. So it seems as though, you take out Gabe, Stephon Diggs all of a sudden makes his presence felt.
The only thing that makes sense. The only thing holding back Stephon Diggs from greatest wide receiver in the history of the world was Gabriel Davis. And the only thing holding Gabriel Davis back was, of course, Emmanuel Sanders. So really, like inception-wise, or what is it called where you have like the transitive property? Is that the lingo that we're looking for here?
Yeah, transitive property.
Emmanuel Sanders is the best wide receiver in Buffalo still to this day.
Yeah, seems that way.
Makes perfect sense. So another really good receiver, really, really good receiver, Elijah Less is doing a lot of nothing in New York, other than running empty calorie routes. Great for him.
Yeah.
He's getting he's the reverse of Rashad Bateman. Bateman's getting all the targets on none of the routes. Elijah's getting all the routes with none of the targets.
Which is really weird because coming into the year, we were like, I wonder if Elijah's going to get all the routes because they have Corey Davis, who's a split end, and they drafted another receiver in Garrett Wilson. You're like, oh man, that would suck if he was just a slot wide receiver. And then Bateman, it was like, well, he's going to run all the routes because they don't have anybody else in Baltimore. So, but then they were like, but Bateman didn't earn a lot of targets last year, so I don't know. And then Elijah, you're like, he's always earned 1 million targets, but I was a little concerned about his routes. And now I'm, the other way around.